In 1938, a 23-year-old genius sat down at a CBS microphone and handed the most powerful psychological weapon ever built to the people who needed it most. His name was Orson Welles. The weapon was a radio. Think about that for a second. No TV, no internet, no social media, no smartphones, just a box with a dial and a speaker. That box was everything: the news, the music, comedy, drama, your only connection to the outside world. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, CNN, Fox News, MTV, reality TV, all of it in one box. No visuals, and not everyone had one. You gathered at a neighbor's house, family living room. You sat together and you listened. It was an event. The Shadow, Amos and Andy, The Lone Ranger. Families built their evenings around these broadcasts. Radio didn't show you anything. It told you what was happening, and your own mind filled in the rest. Your imagination was the screen. You didn't watch it, you lived inside it. And on October 30th, 1938, someone decided to use that. The older generation already knew what it felt like when the radio delivered something unthinkable. World War I was still in their bones. That crackling voice, that authoritative tone. Bad news sounded a specific way. And now, on Halloween Eve, it sounded that way again. Orson Welles, 23 years old, broadcasting War of the Worlds from CBS studios in New York. 3 years later, he's directing Citizen Kane with full creative freedom from a major Hollywood studio. First-time director, 25 years old. Talented people get opportunities, but not like that. Not that fast. Not unless someone is honoring an arrangement. 88 years later, another filmmaker comes out of retirement at the exact peak of the managed disclosure moment to deliver the alien narrative to the biggest audience possible. Different director, same script, same purpose. This is where that script was written. October 30th, 1938, Halloween Eve, CBS Radio, New York. Orson Welles presents an adaptation of H.G. Wells' 1898 novel, War of the Worlds, published 40 years earlier, a British science fiction. Most Americans haven't heard of it, which was the point. Regular programming is cut off, field reporters on location, government officials responding, military updates rolling in, Martians landing in New Jersey, heat rays, poison gas, military overwhelmed, cities evacuating. You've seen the nuclear attack pranks on social media. Someone plays an emergency alert on TV. Grandma grabs her purse. Kids start crying. Dad's calling the neighbors. 184,000 likes. 15,000 favorites. Because it works every time. Now imagine that, but live on radio. Multiple narrators. Sound effects. Official voices. No pause button. No comment section. No way to fact check it. For every family gathered around that radio, their only window to the world. It was really happening. October 30th, 1938. 17 months after the Hindenburg. 1 year before World War II. That's not a coincidence. That's a sequence. Episode 3 showed you how they burned the technology. This episode is about what they did to your mind while the smoke was still clearing. A population still in shock from watching an entire industry eliminated in 33 seconds on film, is now being conditioned for what comes next. About 1 million people panicked, highways jammed, churches filled, hospitals logged anxiety cases, people called the police, people said goodbye to their families. And the people watching that response, not from their living rooms, from offices with clipboards, with status results. They learned something they never forgot. When you use the vocabulary of trusted information sources, break into programming, use authoritative voices, geographic specificity, a significant portion of the public will respond like it's real. That finding was documented, archived, and used. The CBS executive producer of the broadcast was Davidson Taylor. During World War II, Taylor worked as an aide to CBS head William S. Paley, who was running radio operations for the Psychological Warfare Division of Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force under General Eisenhower. The producer of the most psychologically effective radio broadcast in American history went to work for the man running psychological warfare radio for the Supreme Allied Commander. That's not a career coincidence. That's a recruitment. The 1938 broadcast was his audition. He got the job. And Paley, head of the network that aired War of the Worlds, didn't join the Psychological Warfare Division because he had some radio experience. He joined because he already knew exactly what radio could do to mass consciousness. He watched it happen in his own studio 4 years earlier. As for Orson Welles, 23 years old, brilliant, ambitious, offered a platform and a career he couldn't afford to say no to. Did he know the full purpose of what he was directing? He may have. Did someone honor the deal? Citizen Kane, 1941. 3 years later, full creative control. First-time film director at 25. Nominated for 9 Academy Awards. Wins for Best Original Screenplay. You do the math. After that night, something changed permanently. Hollywood didn't stumble into making alien invasion movies. Government saves the day storylines. Fear-based disclosure documentaries. It was handed a template. October 30th, 1938. And the template worked. Every alien invasion film since. Every UAP documentary pointing you at the sky. Every "the government will protect us" storyline. All running on what was built in a CBS studio on Halloween Eve, 1938, including what's coming to theaters later this year. So, what exactly got installed that night? 3 things. 1, there's something out there and it's a threat. 2, you can't trust what you see and hear. You need the experts to tell you what's real. 3, the alien label is the explanation for anything you're not supposed to figure out on your own. By 1944, American soldiers were seeing what they called Foo Fighters over Europe, and we're now calling them orbs. The framework to misread human technology as alien was already in place. That wasn't an accident. That was preparation. You don't prep a population and then accidentally hand them exactly what they're prepped for. Aurora was the template. Magenta, the label. The Hindenburg was a funeral. War of the Worlds broadcast, the operating manual. The technology was suppressed. A cover story installed. Public mind prepared. Before a single shot of World War II was fired. They needed people who would look at human technology and see aliens. When the war started, they had exactly that. Next, Episode 5, Wonder Weapons. The war they don't teach. The technology used in World War II. The official history they still can't explain.